Yo, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? It's your boy Purple Slushy. In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down Spellbreak's Pyromancer class. Now, not only does this class have burst, but this class has hella mobility for you to be able to get around, get quick kills, and get out before people even knew you were there. Now, this video is going to include the best runes to use, the best talents to use, and I will also be going over some gameplay so you guys know what Pyromancer is about, and you'll know if you'll be able to, rock this in open world if you guys want to rock it. So I hope you guys sit back, kick your legs up, eat some popcorn, grab some water, grab some coffee. Today's video is going to be lit. Don't forget, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. Helps me out a lot. Hit that notification bell to know when I post live. Also, if you guys want to see me live stream, I live stream almost every day on twitch.tv/purpleslushy. I'm going to put that link over there, so make sure you guys go over there and follow me. And sorry about my hair, it's quarantine. I just got it in a bun and it's kind of just doing its own thing. So go ahead guys, enjoy the video and let's get to it. Yo, what is going on guys? Now today's video I'm going to be breaking down Pyromancer. This class is amazing. It has really good burst all around. It's just really great for PvP, and it's all based on your personal preference and your playstyle. If you like playing something that has a lot of mobility and a lot of burst, this is it. If you want something that plays differently, play something else. If you guys want to try out different combos, different gauntlets and stuff, definitely give everything a shot. If you're new at the game, I highly recommend everyone going in and making sure that you guys are going and you're deciding what is the right gauntlet that's good for me. The only way you guys will know what gauntlet is good for you is if you actually go and you try them out and you see it for yourself. So first off, you get different level passives. Now each passive you get on your gauntlet, you get every time you get into a circle inside of the battle royale zone. Now when you first drop and you're not in a circle, you won't have any passives. When you get into the first safe zone, like the first circle when it closes in, you will get combust. What combust does is on a direct hit, you ignite target for 2 seconds. Fireball explosion radius plus 200%. Now this is really good passive because a lot of times you hit people super hard, but what the problem is a lot of people like fly away or go invis or get out really quick. What this does is it ignites them for 2 seconds, so you have that constant dot on them for a couple seconds after you hit them initially. So if they're down on execute range, you don't have to really worry about chasing them because you have that nice dot. Toxic has something pretty similar, so if you guys are looking for another class that kind of plays like fire but not really, definitely go with Toxic. But we're gonna continue going over the passives of this. Now Firefly is pretty dope. What Firefly does is Firefly, when you get into the second zone, you're immune to your flame walls. So you have a wall that you can put up, and I'll show it on the screen right now. Basically what this wall does is it puts up a wall of fire, so if anybody runs through it, they're gonna get burned instantly. You got that damage procced on them from the first passive. They're ticking down, they're taking a lot of damage, they're gonna go on the defensive if they go through it. So this is a great move to have. Also, when you go through your firewall and your second passive, you can fly for 2 seconds. Now this is amazing because this gauntlet, the wind gauntlet, and the ice gauntlet all allow you for mobility. The wind gauntlet, you're gonna be able to glide a little bit. The ice gauntlet, you can kind of like ice skate like you're like Frozone. And the fire gauntlet, you can fly like you're Superman, which is awesome. It's what I like. I use the flying rune with it, and you can get a lot of combos off of it. I'll show some of those in the video later. But going on to the third passive, we got Pyroless Flame Wall, 100% damage for 2 seconds. So basically when you put your flame wall down, the first 2 seconds of it, it's gonna have 100% extra damage. So when you get this third passive, you really want to make sure if you get put in that tough situation where you can hit someone with that flame wall instantly, you want to make sure that you put them in that flame wall fast so they're taking that damage. There's also ways to animation cancel your big moves like your flame wall, and I use Toxic with fire, so your Toxic mist, there's a way to animation cancel those so you can kind of just sit in the sky and aim it. I'll show you guys also how to do that. And we also got Conflagration on your fourth passive. Don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but we're just gonna go with it. So on fireball hit, you spawn 4 smaller fireballs. So for example, if you're going to hit someone, I'll play a little video here. If you hit someone with a fireball, it's gonna shoot out and it's gonna hit the other people around, and it'll do damage to them, which is really nice for AoE, because sometimes you get put in those tight situations, especially when the circle is really small, where you need to, you know, have a little bit of extra AoE burst. But that is it for pretty much the passives. One thing about this game, if you're just getting into it, is you can have 2 gauntlets at once. Now, when you have a gauntlet, you get those passives when you're playing, and you can't swap that gauntlet for that whole game that you're in that game. But your second gauntlet, you can have a wind gauntlet, a toxic gauntlet, a shock gauntlet. It doesn't really matter. But the thing is whatever your second gauntlet is, you don't get any of those passives. So for example, say I went into a game and I was a fire main, but then I also put on a wind gauntlet. I would only have these passives when I would be playing. I wouldn't have any of these wind passives. So if you're like, oh, well, these wind passives looks cool, maybe that would be cool with fire. Just remember, you're not gonna get these passives unless the gauntlet is your main hand. So whatever you pick, make sure it's what you wanna rock with, you like those passives, and you'll be good to go. Now for talents. Talents are pretty interesting. Talents are what separates players from certain players. One player might have a playstyle that fits certain talents, another player might have another playstyle that fits certain talents. This game is pretty balanced right now, and there's not really a quote-unquote meta. So with that being said, you can pretty much rock whatever you want, and you can get away with it, and you can do good with it. If you want to rock focus mana, you can rock focus mana. If you want to rock tracking, you can rock tracking. You can rock whatever you want. Just make sure that whatever you rock fits your playstyle and you're having comfortable with it, and if it suits you, keep rocking it. Now, what I found the best to be with Pyromancer is these 3 talents right here. So let's get into them. Runic Fluency. Basically, what Runic Fluency does is you get 1 max rune charge plus 1. Rune cooldown minus 5%. So every time you get a rune, so for example, you get a flight rune. Say you get a flight rune and it is it has a 10-second cooldown. This passive, having this passive on, or I'm sorry, without this passive, you would be able to fly once, and then you have to wait 10 seconds. So basically, with this passive on, say I had a flight rune with a 10-second cooldown. Once I pick up that flight rune, the 10-second cooldown is gonna go, and then I'll be able to use it. But if I wait another 20 seconds, I'll have 2 charges. So not only will I have my base charge, but I'll have the extra max rune charge plus 1, so I'll be able to use my rune twice. Now, this is amazing for a bunch of different classes. Reason being, the way I like to use it is I like to be offensive, and I also like to be defensive right off the bat. Now, a lot of the times when you fight people, if you try to go in for burst, you kind of got to get close. Now, if you get close, you're in there, you're in the action. Once you get your burst out, you want to get out, right? So what better way to do that than having a double rune charge? Now, for example, if I have a Runic Fluency and I am flying around, I will show a video clip right here. Basically, I'm going to be able to fly in, bomb someone or whatever, jump out, fly away again, regroup, or if there's someone on my ass and I gotta get away, I can fly in, do some damage, and then, oh, I'm about to get hit, I can fly right out of there. I can get out quick. Same thing with invis. If you want to go around and gank people, you go into invis, you find someone, you hit them with a quick burst, then you go back into invis real quick. Now, this is amazing. Runic Fluency completely changes the way that you play, because when you have 2 rune charges, you're able to do way more things than you would be able to do without 2 rune charges. This is probably my favorite first talent out of all the talents here. A lot of them are good. Harmony is also really, really good. If you guys want to play more tanky, if you're with a group who maybe they're not running Runic Fluency, you want to try to like stick with them more, so you're not, because when you have 2 rune charges, right, you're going to be all over the place. So if you kind of want to stick with them and slow it down a little bit, you rock Harmony. Harmony's going to, you're immune to being stunned, which is really, really good. You can't get froze, you can't get shocked, so you're able to, keep your, keep the fighting pace up. You're able to keep the pace high, and you also reduce the incoming damage reduction by 5%. Now, these rune, the rune passives that you get, like the max rune charge, the on spell hit, outline your target, these level up in game. When you get to different loot chests, treasure chests, they're gonna drop scrolls. Some of these scrolls enhance your rune or your talent by a certain percentage. So runic fluency, I believe at level 3, which is the highest level, is a 15% rune cooldown instead of 5%. So you still get the extra charge, but the time it takes to recharge is lessened based on the scroll that you have and however many talent points you have with however many scrolls you grab. Second talent I use is Fervor. Fervor is cracked because Fervor, in my opinion, is one of the strongest second talents in the game. Reason being, your spellcast speed is plus 15%. Every single attack in the game is a spell. Whether it's an auto attack, whether it's a toxic bomb, whether it's an ice snipe, they're all spells, right? And if you can increase the amount of, if you can increase the speed that you're shooting, you're increasing the amount of damage that you can get off per second, right? For example, say I have an epic flame gauntlet, and I'm fighting Joe Schmo, and Joe Schmo also has an epic flame gauntlet. If we're shooting each other, and I have on Fervor, and he has on not Fervor or something else, and we're just constantly hitting left click on our mouse, just auto attacking, I will kill Joe Schmo faster than he will kill me because I'm getting my auto attacks off 15% faster than he is. So the fireballs kind of shoot kind of slow. When you have Fervor on, you shoot super fast, so the amount of DPS that you get off per second is really strong, and you're able to 1vx a lot better. You're able to survive by yourself a lot better because you're able to put out more damage than people who are fighting you are able to put out. So this just helps you to be more offensive than other people, and it helps you to put out a lot of damage. Highly recommend Fervor if you are a Pyromancer. It is a must. Last trait, this is also a must, Recovery. This trait might be the strongest trait in a game, strongest talent, just based off what it does. So on health damage, regenerate 50% of the damage taken in 12 seconds. So say Joe Schmo hits me with a firebomb, right? He hits me with the Bop Glock Kapow combo, and I'm like, oh shit, he just hit me for 80 damage. Well, over 12 seconds, I'm going to regenerate 40 of those damage points back because I'm going to regenerate half of what I got hit for. So yeah, let's have an example of how these talents can work together, right? Say I go in on someone and I hit them with 3 fireballs real quick. Bang, bang, bang! I do like 60 damage, take their shield off, right? Say they hit me twice, right? They do 40 damage. So I go invis, I come out, bang, 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 I hit them, they hit me twice, bang, bang, right? It's like, oh shit, okay, well, I took his whole shield off, but he took some of my shield off, but he has a buddy here, so I don't want to die. So what I'm going to do, say for example, I didn't even have a shield. He just straight hit my health because recovery doesn't hit with a shield. Just let's redo this and say I take 60 off his health, right? He takes 40 off my health. I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to, try to overextend because his teammate's probably going to end up killing me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go invis, hit him those couple times, he hits me, right? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into invis because I have that second extra rune charge, right? He's like, oh shit, where did Slushy go? I have no idea. So what he doesn't know is I just went right behind the rock that he's sitting by. I wait, a few seconds, and I get those 40 health. I say he hits me for 40 damage. I get 20 health back over those few seconds while he's still sitting there trying to look for me or whatever. Or say I'm fighting and I'm using the flight rune and I'm being chased constantly and I don't have time to use my pots. If I get hit with a big bomb and all I have time to do is fly away and I don't have time to pot, I'm pretty much an open sitting duck because I'm not getting any health back, I'm not getting any shield back because I don't have time to shield. Now, say I get hit for 50 damage, someone hits me hard. Say I get hit for 100 damage, someone hits me hard as fuck, 90 damage, right? I start flying away. If I can make it without getting hit in those however many seconds, I'm gonna get all of the half of the health back that I lost in those 12 seconds back from that guy. So this talent is amazing for end game, for mid game, for early game. There's so many times in so many games where I almost have no pots and I'm like, I'm so screwed, I'm gonna die here, but I don't die, I end up staying alive, and recovery just comes in clutch. So boys, runic fluency, fervor, and recovery, 3 best talent traits in my opinion. Now, before we get into some of the gameplay real quick, I rock Toxic Gauntlet as my second gauntlet. Now, none of these passes really matter on Toxic Gauntlet. The only thing that really matters is the special attack that Toxic has. Toxic has this giant Toxic cloud. It's like a cloud you look up in the sky that you can throw. You throw the cloud, it puts up this big Toxic cloud. If anyone goes into it, they start taking damage every second. Now, if you shoot that Toxic cloud with a fireball, it blows up and it does like 50 damage on someone. So what you do is you see someone, you're like, oh shit, there's Joe under the bridge, and I'm like 50 feet away. I'm gonna set my flame wall down. I'm gonna fly through my flame wall. That's gonna give me 2-second flight. Then I'm going to start flying towards that guy with my flight rune. Once I get to the bridge, I'm gonna bomb him, do whatever, and I'm gonna land on the ground. And then if, I can just finish him off, or if he starts, putting more damage on me, I have another flight ready. I can just jump up, fly around, come back in for another bomb. But I really like this playstyle with the flight room and the Toxic clouds, because especially when you're playing with a team, you have so much AoE burst damage that you're able to control fights and make people go defensive. Remember, when people are defensive, it allows you to go offensive. The more offensive you can be, the more damage you're putting out per second. The more damage you're putting out per second, the more chances you're going to have yourself at winning a game. And that's what it all comes down to. Now, this is pretty much gone over all of the basics about Spellbreak and Pyromancer class. We're going to go over a little bit more things at the end of this video. I'm going to explain a little bit of the gameplay to you, but I hope you guys did enjoy that little breakdown. If you guys have any questions or comments in the video, leave them in the comment section below. Till then, let's get into the next part of the video. Alright boys, there's a couple things I wanted to show you guys before this video ends. Real quick, just my mastery. If you guys are just curious about my stats, this is what I'm rocking with on my Pyromancer. 250 total matches, 500 exiles, pretty average. 407 exiles with Pyro, almost a 5 KD, average time survives 10 minutes, and average damage is 700. Not bad. I want to try to get that to around 1,000, but that'll just take more playtime and playing with someone else. But right now, let's hop into practice mode and let me show you guys a few things. Okay boys, here we are in practice mode. Let me go ahead and we'll start off with the flight rune, grab some gear real quick, just grab everything gold, why not? Extra speed with them boots. I rock fire with Toxic. And is there some pots somewhere that I can grab just to BS with? What is this? Grants a class level. Oh, okay, bet. Class levels the whole way up. So now we should have this. Okay, yeah, we're Gucci. Okay. Alright, we'll do this guy up here. So the first thing that I want to show you guys is how you can best get movement on Pyromancer class. So say I wanted to get from here to that epic drop as fast as possible. Normally what you would do is you would just use your flight rune and you would just fly there like this, which is pretty cool. You can do this. There's nothing wrong with just flying, but there is a way that you can extend how far you can fly to be able to reach destinations that you normally wouldn't be able to reach without, extending it. And we can just do things like this. So we're going to use our firewall into the flight, and then we're going to go into another flight. So it's just going to look something like this. So say I'm coming this way, I just go drop the firewall, go through it. As soon as it ends, I'm going to pop the flight rune, and we're going to use the flight rune until we get the whole way over here. We're going to drop. As soon as we drop, we can use the flight rune again because we got the double rune charge, and then we can go and we can keep moving. So this is really good for movement. When the zone's closing, it's really good. So for example, say you are fighting and the zone is closing and the zone's about to close on you. Well, you don't have to worry about getting caught in the storm, right? Because you have all that movement to get out. So what you can do is, let's say that this is the storm closing in and there's someone like in the storm, right? Behind me. I can like fight him in here, and then I can like fly out of the zone real quick, right? Get some distance, and that guy behind me is still coming out of the zone, so I can keep fighting him or whatever, putting pressure on. And then once the storm is about to come and close in on me, I can just be like, all right, well, I'm out. I'm gonna back up a little bit, and then I'm gonna wait for him to keep coming out, and I can keep putting more pressure on. So that's one way you can use it. You can also use the flight rune offensively. So like you see this guy over here that's sitting on this rock. One thing that I like to do is something that's called animation canceling. Basically the way the animation canceling works in this game is the special attack moves, like your Q move or your E move, like the firewall or the toxic cloud, when you use those in the sky, you actually stand still for a couple seconds. So when you're standing still, you're actually able to just kind of like look around at the ground, and you can have a couple seconds before you actually like move or anything. So what that looks like is that kind of like looks like this. So say I wanted to come over here and I was like, all right, well, that guy below me is moving. I can just sit here with the toxic cloud until I figure out where I want to throw it, and then I can throw it. You have about, I think, 3 or 4 seconds before you automatically auto drop to throw whatever you need to throw or to use your move. The same thing works with the firewall, so I could come up here like this and I can be like, all right, well, all right, I want to set it right here, and then I can just set it on the guy or whatever. That is a really, really good tactic to use, especially when you're fighting someone who's using a stone gauntlet. Stone gauntlets are really hard to fight against on the ground, because when someone has a stone gauntlet, they can just hit you so easily, right? For example, let's go over here and grab a stone gauntlet real quick. I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So say I have a stone gauntlet, right? And say that this guy up here is me, right? If I'm fighting a stone gauntlet guy, he's just gonna keep spamming on the ground, and he's gonna be hitting me hard as fuck for 45 damage every time, right? And he can hit me pretty much from everywhere, and he has a lot of distance. So when you're fighting a stone guy, the worst thing you can possibly do is try to fight them on the ground, because they will win that 100% of the time. Now, if you're animation canceling, like I just taught you guys, you can actually, you know, counter a stone player, because you don't have to touch the ground as much. So for example, say this guy's a stone player and he was trying to attack me. I don't even have to touch the ground. I could set down this firewall, I could jump, and then I could fly. You can fly through your wall while you're in the air. So like say I'm in the air like this, I can touch the flame at the top and I will start flying. So I'm like, oh shit, there's a flame guy on me, so I'm gonna set down this firewall, and then I'm gonna get off the ground because he can hit me, and I'm gonna go above him in the air, and then I'm gonna go like this. I'm gonna aim it, I'm gonna be like, oh shit, I'm gonna blow him up, let that toxic cloud hit first, then shoot it, and it's gonna blow up for massive damage. That is probably one of the best ways to fight people that are really good at fighting on the ground. Now for bombing people, a really good way to bomb people is a lot of times you'll see people that are just stacked up in one area. For example, this might happen when you see 2 groups of people fighting each other, and you see one team kill the other team, then they go and loot, and there's like 3 people just looting a bunch of loot on the ground. So what you can do is you can fly by real quick and you can bomb them, and then you can get out. So you can go like this, you can be like, all right, I'm gonna bomb this guy right here. So you can be like this, and then you can jump up and you can get out and you can go away, and then you can reset where you want to start fighting from, and then you can start fighting from over here or whatever, you know. Or you know, if you want to do it like this, you can do it like this too. You can go like this, be like, all right, well, I want to set down the firewall. Then you can like fly through this if you want, and then you can turn around, you can set down your toxic cloud, and you can blow it up on someone. Now let's talk about different combos real quick. There's a couple of different combos that you can do. There's something in this game called Phoenix Fire. Basically what Phoenix Fire does is it makes your fire stronger. So what we do is we set down a firewall, and then you do a toxic auto attack through it, and it turns it green. And when you turn it green, it actually does 20 damage per tick instead of just 6 damage per tick, which is actually bonkers. It does so much damage. So for example, say like we have that one passive. Remember I was talking about earlier in the passive, I think it's the 3rd passive. maybe it's the first passive. Second passive? I think it's the second passive. You get 100% more damage for 2 seconds on your flame wall. So basically, those first 2 seconds, if you can set down that Phoenix Fire, that 100% damage stacks with the first 2 seconds. So you set down your firewall, set down the Phoenix, and then you're doing 26 damage for them first 2 seconds per tick. So that's like 4 ticks. That's their whole shield. So if you set down firewalls, it's a really good practice, especially if you're like trying to kite someone. So for example, say someone was chasing you, right? And I fly over here, and he's trying to chase me through this corridor right here. What I would do is I would throw a firewall, I would throw some Phoenix Fire through it, and then I would keep moving, and I would keep moving like this, keep kiting, you know, and then you just want to keep fighting that person or whatever. That's a really good tactic. Another combo that you can do with Fire Gauntlet is you can blow up your Toxic Cloud with your auto attack with your fire, which I was talking about, which is pretty good. This does probably does some of the most damage in the game, that combo right there. When people have full shields, it pretty much takes off their full shield right off the bat. And you can also blow up your Toxic Cloud with your firewall. So for example, say you have like, say you're fighting, say the zone is really small, like say the zone goes from here. Alright, so everywhere I just hit, there's like a circle. Say the zone is that small. So I can set a firewall down and say there's like people fighting over there, and they're guaranteed to go through my firewall. Well, when I see them going through my firewall, I can kind of like sit up in the sky and I can be like, oh shit, he's about to go through my firewall. I can throw a Toxic Cloud at it and it'll blow up without me even hitting it, because as soon as fire hits Toxic Cloud, it just automatically blows up, and it's gonna do a lot of damage. Another thing that you can do if you wanted to like block off an entrance for someone and you don't have a flat firewall already, you can kind of like shoot the ground a little bit like this, and then you can throw some Phoenix Fire on it, and then that way no one will be able to walk through, because they're just going to take too much damage. And if they walk through, like, they're going to take so much damage, there's no point of even walking through like that. So that's one thing you can do. Now, I love the Flight rune, but there's another rune that is super cracked on this class, and that is actually Invis. Now, Invis is super underrated. I've won so many games with Invis at the end because people can't see me. I've been able to outplay groups at a time because, you know, they can't see me because I have Invis. Basically, what you want to do with Invis, you're kind of like a ganker. I don't know if you guys ever played a game called Elder Scrolls, but there's a class called Nightblade, and you could attack from stealth. So I kind of took the tactics from that game and brought them to this game. So basically, what you want to do is, like, you're like, oh shit, Joe Schmo's on this rock over here. I kind of want to gank him, but I know he's going to see me if I try to like go up to him. So what you're going to do is you're going to go in Invis, you're going to walk up to someone, you're going to be like, hit him with the combo like this, then go back into Invis, and then get out, right? And then you have time to, you know, reset, do whatever you need to do. Oh, he's going to heal? All right, well, hit him again. Now that's what's really good about having the double rune, is because you can go in and do a lot of burst on people, but you can also, you know, get out really easily. You can also combine it with flying, so I could be like this, fly through my fire, and I could go Invis mid-air, and then I could be like, alright, well, I'm going to use this bomb, and then I am going to blow it up on that guy, and then I can go back into Invis. And I don't know if you guys noticed there, but after I set down my firewall, I popped Invis mid-air, and then I was able to animation cancel my Toxic, so it would give me a chance to figure out where I'm at in the air, where my enemy is, where I can throw it down. This is also really good because people can't see you. Well, they can see you when you're in Invis, but it's really hard unless they see you go into Invis right off the bat. It's really hard to track it. So say you're fighting, like say there's 3 people up on this hill, you can actually get an attack on them without them even knowing that you're there. So you set down your firewall, you fly in on them, you go Invis like this, you animation cancel your Toxic so you can stay in the air for a second, and you're like, oh, I want to kill this dude right here, so bang, kapow, he's dead. Then you can go back into Invis, and you know, you're good to go. The very last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, something that helps you a lot for survival, and I'll show you a little bit in this game play up here pretty soon, is something called kiting. Basically what kiting is using the environment to your advantage. There's actually a couple things I want to talk about. these two kind of tying together. But kiting is amazing for staying alive. It's probably the #1 thing that I do to stay alive. So basically, for example, say that there was someone on me and he was like over here, he was a stone player, and I was like, oh shit, well I don't have any runes to like stay up in the air or whatever, I don't want to get hit. Basically, say someone was like chasing me, like, or say someone was coming from where that fire was and they were coming towards me. So I would just stand right behind this tree, right? They can't do anything when I'm right behind this tree, right? He tries to come up to the right side of the tree, I kind of like move left a little bit, and I'm kiting. I'm using the environment to my advantage. Say there's someone coming to me from this way, right? Coming to me around this like little brick wall, and I'm like, oh shit, well, you know, he's gonna be able to get me. Well, he can't get me if he can't hit me, right? So if he's coming around this way, I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna try to wrap around this building so he can't hit me, and I'm gonna kite. But as I'm moving around the building or whatever, that guy, I'm going to be attacking because I know that he's going to be chasing me around. So I can judge based off his movement where he's going to be, and I can start attacking. So say for example, I'm kiting around this way, I know that that guy's going to be following me. As I'm kiting, I can kind of hit him like this or whatever. See, I'm wrapping around and I'll be able to hit him, but he won't be able to hit me because I'm kiting, and every time he tries to hit, there's some sort of like environment variable in his way, i.e. whether that be a wall, a rock, a boulder, or whatever. And the last thing I kind of wanted to go over with you guys, that's pretty important, is air gameplay. Air gameplay is super important on Pyromancer, because Pyromancer, it's pretty easy to hit these shots like this, but when someone's moving, it's going to be hard. So the best way to hit someone on Pyromancer is to actually hit them from when you're up in the air. So the best way to attack someone on Pyromancer class, which you will see me do in the gameplay coming up, is you jump and you shoot them while you're in the air, right? But one thing you want to take into account is a lot of times when you're jumping up in the air and stuff, you don't want to use all of your mana and not be able to shoot. Because for example, say I'm in the air like this, right, and I use all my mana, and I use all my mana from jumping. When you get back on the ground, you have to do this big animation like this where you get your mana back. Now during that time when you have you're getting your mana back, the enemy's either going to be able to hit you, or they're also going to be getting your mana back. So say you have a neck where you know you can get, you know, 3 shots off without your mana going up. I would just whoops, accidentally hit myself. I would go up in the air, get like 3 shots or whatever, 2 shots. I would get 2 shots, and then I would come back down before I even have to recharge. And then I would let my gauntlet recharge, and then I would go back in with another couple shots, let it recharge, go back in with another couple shots, because your gauntlet recharges faster when it already has a little bit of mana than it does when you have 0 mana at all. And everyone that you're fighting is going to be jumping to their max height and then coming back to the ground to recharge their neck. So it doesn't matter who you're fighting. Every single person that you fight at some point will have to touch the ground. Now, if you can play enough and you can kind of get down people's habits that they have, you'll be able to time when people touch the ground, and you'll be able to take advantage of it. So if you know that Joe Schmo is going to be touching the ground in 2 seconds because they've been in the air for, you know, however many seconds, and you know how long it's going to take them to touch the ground, as long as you have enough mana in your neck, you can attack them as soon as they hit the ground, because you know when they're going to be touching the ground. So that's just pretty much the go-to strat for killing people, making other people run out of mana before you run out of mana, saving your mana without you running out of mana completely. Yeah, there's going to be those times when you're fighting stone players and you know, you're going to have to, you know, use all your mana, but for the most part, you want to try to conserve your mana as much as possible. Yeah, there's going to be times where you're going to have to recharge and stuff. It's just gonna happen. It all comes down to what kind of fight you get into, what kind of you know, what kind of, you know, gameplay you're getting into that day. But for the most part, you should be good to go. That pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to teach you guys that is super key for Pyromancer. I'm gonna go over a couple 1v2s real quick that I had the other day on this class, and I'm gonna explain to you a little bit what I was doing. But besides that, I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Now let's get into the very last part, and then I will let you guys go. Let's get it. Okay, boys, so for the last part of this video, I kind of just wanted to go ahead and show you guys some gameplay and kind of talk over what's happening and explain to you why I'm doing what I'm doing, and hopefully it'll help you guys understand a little bit better how to PvP in Spellbreak, and I'll just, you know, show you some things that maybe you guys didn't know. So let's get into it. This was a game that I went into. It was a duos game, but my friend left at the beginning, so I was just by myself. So basically, the whole game was just me fighting 2 people at once. So here I saw some guy, and I was like, okay, so he's trying to go for this rare drop. So I went invis. Since I'm invis, I can get close, and I can try to go in with a combo, burst combo, and I hit him right there, and I took off about 3/4 of his shield, which is pretty good. The longer you keep the toxic cloud on someone, the longer that you can actually, the more damage that you actually do to them. But sometimes if you put it on them too long, then, you know, you won't be able to blow it up because they'll get out of it. Here I went in on that guy, but he feather flew, so I'm gonna try to just, you know, follow him a little bit. I see a legendary gauntlet right here, and I was like, oh, all right, I'm gonna grab that. I set the fire rune wall down so I could just, you know, have some time to grab that real quick. So I go back into invis, and I'm going up to this guy so I can burst him. I hit him twice, and he doesn't even know that I'm there, and I'm trying to make sure that I keep my mana up so I can stay hitting this guy. Right there, I hit him with the bomb, and he's backing up here, so I'm going to try to keep applying pressure. I see the guy to my left, he's applying pressure onto me, but I know that I have a good chance of killing this guy before his friend kills me, so I go ahead and I finish off the kill real quick, and then I try to go back in on this guy. This guy was playing in the air a lot, and he was a stone gauntlet guy, so I knew that I had to get my invis to fight him. So I get my invis, he tries to go for the res, I hit him with the toxic. I should have hit him with a fire blast right there, because if you're not a toxic main, you don't get the actual dot, but with the fire blast, you get the dot if you're a fire main. So there, I hit him with another combo. I set the firewall right behind him. A lot of times when I'm fighting people and they're backing up, I'll set the firewall behind them because they're gonna walk through it without them even knowing that you even set it there. So here, like I said, I'm using the terrain to my advantage. I'm sitting behind the tree so I can get my invis back. This guy kind of like backs up and goes into the zone because the circle's about to close. And right here, I try to wrap around the wall to kill this guy. I don't know if I actually get the kill here. I think I end up getting third-partied, and then I end up having to fight other people here. But this guy, like right here, I know he's about to go into the ground. I have to get the invis off before I go back to the ground because he's using stone gauntlet. And you really can't fight stone people on the ground because they know what they're doing and they're gonna hit you really, really hard. So what you want to do is you kind of just want to set up, you know, a burst combo, how you want to set it up, and you kind of want to make sure that, you know, they're not gonna hit you if you know, you're on the ground or whatever. Basically here, we're going to be wrapping around. We're going to be popping pots fully. I saw a bunch of people fighting there, but I was like, I don't want to get into that right now. Let me pot up, which is the smart thing to do because I'm by myself in a duos game. I go there. I hit that dude with the big burst because he doesn't even see me. His friend is trying to res. I stop the res. Now I go back into invis, and right here, I'm just trying to figure out what kind of play I want to make. I pop a second invis, and then I think I might go in with some burst here. I might not go in with some burst. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I wait till he tries to loot. So there's certain times when you attack someone, and then there's certain times when you wait for the perfect moment. Right there was one of those moments where I was like, all right, well, I know that there's loot down there, so let me see if this guy tries to, you know, get loot from there. If he does, then I'll try to go for the burst. There's no point of getting into a fight where you're going to be going back and forth with someone if you can, you know, avoid that completely and just go in with a little sneaky kill. Here I go on with a toxic bomb. I'm going to go back. I'm going to put some health pots up. I'm going to let these guys kind of fight it out a little bit, and I'm going to just try to keep moving. The storm's coming. I want to make sure that I'm staying invis. The enemies can't see me. I notice here that someone can get rezzed, but I'm trying to just, you know, here I'm just trying to get shields, get settled, get into the new zone, and then we'll keep fighting. I see that guy rezzing there, but I didn't think that it was worth trying to hit him without having any shield, especially with all those people around. And once someone gets rezzed, I know that they only have a little bit of health. So right there, I let him get rezzed, but at the same time of me letting him get rezzed, I knew that he would only have a little bit of health after he got rezzed, so I could just one-shot him, which is what I did. So I passed this guy here. I'm like, okay, I see this guy. I'm walking up the hill. Oh, he's rezzing. Well, let me not worry about that. Let me get pots first, because it's super important. I see him rezzing. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to pop a pot first. I'm going to get the shield, and then I'm going to jump up, and I'm just going to kill this guy real quick, because, you know, he was just dead, so he's not going to have anything. This players on the other side ended up killing him. I'm going to go up top here. Sometimes when there's a building by me and there's a lot of fighting going on, I like to go up top to kind of get a view of what's going on, so I know who to engage, so I know if I need to save up some invises, go back into invis, if I know I need to disengage. Here, I go in on this guy, hit him with another bomb. I don't have any invises saved up, so right here, I'm just going to try to keep getting distance. I'm going to make sure that I set my flame wall down, I get behind a rock, and I get my invises back, I get my shield up. This is what I was saying. Flame is cracked because you have mobility, but if you combine it with something with invis, you not only have the element of surprise, but you're able to get away, and you're able to, you know, pop, you know, pots. You're able to fly away, pop pots, and stay invis without anybody seeing you. That guy fell off the map because I don't think he knew what he was doing. But here you can see that I'm able to keep pressure on these teams, and I'm able to make them make mistakes, and I'm able to make them mess up because they don't really know what's going on, because a lot of people don't know how to fight someone that's invis. It can be really discouraging, especially when you're taking a lot of damage from someone that you can't even see. So here I see another guy up top, but I'm going to try to hit him with the burst. I missed it. I go back into invis here. I don't have any shields, so I'm just gonna try to, you know, just fight this guy straight up because it's just a 1v1. I'm gonna go through my flame wall. I'm gonna get some distance on him. I'm gonna keep moving, stay moving, because he's sniping. When someone's sniping on you, you want to stay moving constantly. Move. As soon as you get that invis, then you pop the invis, then you can go in with the burst. It's really hard to burst someone if they can see where you're at. As soon as you go invis and then go in for the burst, they have no idea where you're at. It gives you a chance, an opening to hit them. Right there, I set the flame wall down behind him, as you guys could see, and he walked right through it, which I knew he would do. A lot of people do this whenever they're moving backwards, trying to get away from you. They're on the defensive. They're gonna most likely do something that is not smart, like walk through the flame wall, which is what this guy did. And we pretty much take advantage of him playing defensive. And we set the flame wall down. He walks through it. He has that dot on him. Now I can try to go and get the kill, finish him off. He had full shield and full health, and now he's about to die. I think I might have lost this guy here. Oh, he ended up flying away. So when people fly away, it's really good on Pyro that you also have flight, so you can kind of keep up with people that are trying to play defensive. Here I go in with the bomb. He's super low. He tries to go in with the ice move. I'm not really sure what he was doing there, but I end up getting the kill right there. And I think there's one more fight that I'm going to show you guys, so let's get to that real quick. Okay, so this was right after I killed that guy. I ended up getting third-partied, but I was able to, you know, kind of handle it by keeping calm, using my invis correctly, and just pretty much going offensive when I need to, going defensive when I need to. So let's see what happens. So basically what I'm gonna do here is I got all the pots from that guy, and I see myself about to get attacked. So I go in invis immediately so I can pop my shields, and I can kind of like get myself ready for the fight. I see two people. This guy kind of comes right towards me. I'm able to bomb him right off the bat. He didn't even know I was there because I was in invis. Invis allows you to have so many opportunities to get attacks on people, and they won't even notice it. So that guy, I get him really low. I take off his full shield, and I kind of back up and I reset myself. I'm like, okay, well, let me put myself in a situation where I can get another invis back, and then I can go in for another attack. I get my invis. I hit this guy with a bomb right here. I take his shield off, and then I go behind the tree, pop another invis, but I get hit again. So here I'm just gonna try to keep staying moving. I'm not gonna, you know, risk anything. I see this dude really low beside me, so I'm gonna try to go in for the attack. He teleports out. I'm gonna go into invis to see if I can't, you know, kill him real quick. I keep the pressure up on him super hard. Someone who's really low like this, as long as you can keep the pressure up, you can pretty much get a kill all of the time. He teleports out again. I set a bomb. I throw it at him. It misses. It was a good throw though. Sometimes you hit him, sometimes you don't. Go back into invis. He ends up dying from someone. So when you exile people, it's really good to do it while you're in invis because it's hard for people to see you. But when you're exiling someone, someone knows that you're exiling them, because normally when you're in that ball form, you can move. But if someone's trying to exile you, you can't move anymore. So he called that out, that he was getting exiled. So I kind of just backed up a little bit, popped a pot, and I'm just trying to, you know, figure out the fight, feel it out, figure out what I'm trying to do here. Go in, I attack that guy. I actually get the hit, which was kind of nuts. Right here, I'm just trying to stay calm because I know this is actually the last circle. There's big pots here, and I'm risking it for the big pots. Probably wasn't the smartest idea. I probably could have waited till I had invis and then got the pots, but I wanted to make sure that no one else grabbed them because this is the last circle and those are probably the last pots in the game. Ended up working out. I went behind the wall, I popped invis, and I used my pot while I was in invis. It's really important to keep your shields up and keep your health up all the time. And the best way to do that is while you're in invis, because you can use abilities while you're invis. Right here, I pop another shield while I'm invis, and I'm kind of just feeling out the rest of the fight. Here, I'm going in for the exile because I was thinking I could get some pots, but it probably wasn't the smartest idea because his teammate was there. I did do it in invis, but his teammate called it out. So sometimes it's worth going for the exile, sometimes it's not. I wait here for his teammate to try to go in for the res. And I get the actual bomb off because he didn't see me camping up there with the invis. I ended up getting the kill. He threw his toxic down, and you can actually blow up other people's toxic clouds with your own fire blast, and you can hurt them with their own toxic cloud. So that's what I did right there. Here I'm looking for pots. I see a shield, I see a belt, but I don't need it. I see a legendary fire gauntlet. I grab that real quick. I know there's people to my left, but I want to get that shield popped as soon as possible. Remember, it's really important to keep your shields up as much as you can because you never know when that, you know, 10 shield or 5 shield would save you in a fight. Right there, he hits me really hard, but I had the shield procced and it's still giving me shield even after I get hit, which is nice. I go in there with the bomb, I miss it, so I'm gonna try to reset. I set the firewall down to keep myself, to keep something in between me and the enemy, make him not try to come towards me as much. I go in the air like I taught you guys before. I go in the air, then I pop the invis. It's really important sometimes that you don't pop invis on the ground because, like I said, it's easy for some people to track you with invis if they know what they're doing. If they don't really know where you're at and you pop invis while you're in the sky, they have no idea where you're at. Then you can kind of like move around, scurry around, and then set up your next burst. So here I go straight up in the air. I pop my invis once I'm in the air. I pop it once I see myself get a second rune charge. I go in with the attack and I actually hit both of them at once because they had no idea where I was. So right here, I'm staying invis. I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity to hit him. I missed that, or I actually did hit that shot right there. Then I hit the firewall as he's coming back towards me. So right there, I was able to hit the toxic wall and the fire at the same time, kind of, you know, spreading out the diversity of the attacks, using the mist cloud for bombing, using the fire to, you know, just see where people are at. The fire is all about knowing where people are going to be and setting down the firewall so they go through it. When I set the firewall down there, he was coming towards me, so I set it in front of him. When people are trying to play defensive and they're moving away from you, you set it behind them. It's really easy. So here, pretty much, I'm just keeping up the pressure. I'm keeping up the invis the whole time. I'm making sure I'm hitting my shots. And when you're fighting people and you're outnumbered and you're 1vxing them, you really demoralize people if you're one guy fighting both of them, killing both of them, doing a lot of damage onto them, and they're not really hitting you at all. They don't know what the heck is going on. They're gonna be like, oh man, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just gonna be getting hit. and they're gonna get nervous. They're gonna be like, shit, like I'm fucked, we're gonna die here. And they're gonna play defensive, which allows you to take control of the fight and really feel it out and really be able to get those really easy kills and really just bait them and make the fight how you want to play it out, which is basically what happens here. So I go back into invis, like I said, he tries to pop the pop behind the shield. I actually get the exile on him. I set down another firewall so his friend can't go for the res. I go back into invis, and here it's just a simple 1v1 against me and this guy. So like I said, you want to attack people from the air when you're on fire gauntlet. So here I try to stay in the air as much as possible. I'm really low health. I set the bomb. I end up getting the kill because I'm staying in the air. Really important to stay in the air. We get the dub. 5 kills, 1500 damage dealt in a solo duo. And that's how you get it done. I hope this was able to show you guys how to play Pyromancer a little bit better. I hope that you guys are able to go out there, kick some ass, and you know, get some dubs. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. I will be having more guides, more builds coming out soon in the future. Stay tuned for that. And if you guys want to catch me live, I stream on Twitch almost every day on twitch.tv/purpleslushy. Till next time, it's been your boy Slushy. Peace.